Good morning. This is Pastor Zach with the Goodland United Methodist Church with your morning devotion for Monday, February 12th. Today I'm going to be reading from the Gospel of Luke in the 10th chapter, starting in verse 25. Just then a lawyer stood up to test Jesus. "Teacher," he said, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" He said to him, "What is written in the law? What do you read there?" He answered, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." And he said to him, "You have given the right answer. Do this, and you will live." But wanting to justify himself, he then asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Jesus replied, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell into the hands of robbers, who stripped him, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a priest was going down the road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. So likewise a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed on the other side. But a Samaritan, while traveling, came near to him, and when he saw him, he was moved with pity. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, having poured oil and wine on them. Then he put on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said, 'Take care of him, and when I come back, I will repay whatever more you spend.' Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell in the hands of the robbers?" He said, "The one who showed him mercy." And Jesus said to him, "Go and do likewise." This is the well-known passage of the Good Samaritan that we hear time and time again, and people like to cling to as a sense of compassion and how we all act. But unfortunately, I think we find ourselves maybe on the side of the priest or the Levite, not always recognizing who exactly our neighbor is. During the last month at the Goodland United Methodist Church, we've been talking about the outsiders and the different groups that Jesus embraced, and it concludes with this idea of the neighbor could be an outsider as well. That often we think of neighbors as a comfortable and familiar person, somebody who you've spent time in your life with or know details about their life. We think of the neighbor as somebody we can trust, somebody that we can be vulnerable around, somebody who thinks the way we do and does things the way we do. But in this parable, Jesus tells us that's not the case. That the case for neighbors is anyone we come across. That each person is created as a child of God and our neighbor in this world and in God's kingdom. So we are to act like the Good Samaritan and not like the priest or the Levite going on the other side, but to be moved with pity, to stop and see what we can do, to help bandage wounds, then taking them to a place of safety. Jesus left these last words. He said to them, "Go and do likewise." When the person confronts Jesus and says, what makes me inherit eternal life, and pushed Jesus even farther, Jesus flipped it on him and said, "Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers?" And when he says the one who showed mercy, he knew in my mind that he was caught in a corner, that he had to answer that way. And then Jesus gave the final commandment in that passage, "Go and do likewise." That's what we're asked to do, to treat each person as our neighbor and show mercy. Go and do likewise. Have a blessed day.